T minus 2 weeks. We got a tyre off and there's still stuff to do. But we're getting closer. We're nearly there. Nearly there. Welcome back to the Budget Adventure Show. Today, Cape York Prep number 2. We're going to do a quick look around the video, what I've done to it since the last video. And we're going to have a quick look at how I've prepped the trip as well. But we'll do a bit of a walk around, quick walk around, and I'll show you what's going on with the vehicle as it sits immobile here at the moment. And then we'll get into the rest of the video. So of course we've got one glaring issue here, the tyres off. Now, we'll throw some photos up. When I was, let's not back up in there properly. Oh, there we go. When I was doing the airbox, it needed a new airbox because the cover was cracked out, which they always do. I noticed where it goes from the airbox through the guard and into the outside section of the snorkel. You had 2 rubber elbows plus 2 plastic elbows to make the S-bend. Now, originally I thought it was just bodginess by the dealer or by the Ironman mechanics when they fitted it, but being plastic, being cinched right down with a pipe clamp, I'm guessing the plastic's just bowed in the way it has. So we won't we won't go against or go after the Ironman dealers too much on that one, but I've had to fix that, open it back up, because with that hole in that S-bend like that, there'd be no creek crossings whatsoever, because once your water gets to there, you're done. But that's what's happening there. I don't know how I'm going to get that to sit back up in there properly. That clips in. Those clips are all in where they need to be, and that's screwed in there, so I think it's just that plastic has moved a little bit, but anyway, it'll vibrate to where it wants to go. So that's why the tyre's off. That's been done. We'll get to that in a minute, get the tyre back on so we can at least move the car. Next up, I think I mentioned in the last video, we had the new tyres on the front. The ones on the rear were about 50%. So I wanted to get 2 new tyres put on it, same matching BF Goodrich all-terrains. And while I was in there, I just said, hey, what's a set of Steelies cost these days? The answer is $110 for your diamond shape Sunraysians. They're a -20 offset, 18-inch fitting the where is it, 265/65 R18s on it. So which ones did they do? For some reason they put the 2 new ones on the front, so the BF pattern's changed a little bit, it would appear. You've still got the side protection there, but it's just some of the lugs are a bit different on the inside. But the Steelies did come with centre caps, but they do not fit over the hubs on the front. And there's our rear one there. And luckily the nuts, even though they're off an alloy tyre, alloy rim, they're still good enough to fit the Steely. So yeah, 4 new shoes for her, and luckily I did get a 5th steel rim as well. It's under the back with one of the 50% tyres that come off the rear, and then one of the alloys stayed on the other tyre. It's here as a second spare, which I'm not taking. I'm only going with 1 spare tyre. Alright, so we talked about the mirrors in the last video. Piece of piss to do those. Now, one thing, we've got the King's Grand Tour Light up on top, 71 kilo of weight, although that does include the ladder, which has got to be about 20 kilo. It's a heavy ladder. I've never seen something so heavy and such poor quality in my life, but that's a different story we can get to on the trip. Like 2.1 metres long by 1.45 or 135 wide, so it fits up there nicely. Unbolted the roof rack and went in and got some brand new high tensile nuts or bolts and nylax for that, to secure that properly for the corrugations. I then pushed it all the way this way as far as I could, to get a bit more overhang on this side, and then because the rooftop tent was going on, we lost our 50 litres water tank up on top, and that was the main thing I was umming and ahhing about putting the rooftop tank on. Altogether, was just losing that water, being able to carry that much water with you. But we've sort of substituted that 50 litre water tank, so 50 litres, roughly 50 kilos. That's probably 55 kilos without the ladder and shit in it. So you can get extra racks to go over the top of it that you can put a solar panel on, max tracks, that sort of thing. I do want to get a set of max tracks to go with me, but the King's actual racks that bolt on there are nearly $200 for a pair, which that's outside the budget. Maybe I've got a set of soft racks there that I might be able to find out a way of mounting to it, but we'll see what happens with that. But because we lost that water tank, I still had the bit of PVC I built all the way back before the Budget Adventure Show started, when we had the FJ Cruiser. This was on that. I built this for the Broken Hill trip at the time, which there is no video on that trip, but there is the Mad Max tribute on the other YouTube page, Bradmel Productions. You can check that out there. But 19 litre that holds. We did have a fill point at the back on a hose that hung down so you can wash your hands, all that stuff, sort of stuff down there on the FJ. I've reversed that, and where my water tank come in behind the snorkel, I've plumbed that back into there. So it's on. It probably doesn't look like it there now because the front's jacked up, but it is on a slight downhill lean, so all the water's going to run to the front. I was using that on that trip, 19 litres. I was getting 2 showers out of it. Obviously 9 and 10 litres each one, boiling the water up. Now I've got the hot water service, so I don't need to worry about that. But just having that 19 litres there to wash your hands. It's got tap water put in there, so I could probably cook with it if I wanted to. And then I've just got it's just a Bunnings coily hose. It's about 2 metres long that folds up into nothing, that sits in the back. So when I get fuel, unfortunately the fuel tap's on the other side, but when I'm getting fuel I can just plug in, go across to the tap at the servo at the pumps and top it up. And because it's only 19 litres, it takes no time to fill back up. And then we've just got a breather tap at the back here, so we can fill him up. So if we come around to the other side, I managed to keep my shovel up on here. That's going to rub on that plastic a fair bit, but I don't really care about that. It's just the way it's going to be. Ladder to get up into the awning, into the tent's going to be on this side. Down here, once we get on the trip, we're going to talk about this tent. I'm not going to set it up now, but we're going to talk about that and the ladder. I think we're going to do a review on it because it needs to be fixed, needs to be changed a little bit. Awning tent, that was back here. The problem with it is you couldn't have it out far enough that this here took away a lot of your inside space of the awning. I'm hoping we've still got the panniers to put on the back of it, which I should get Monday, but we've moved this all the way forward to here. You've got a lot better drop down because we've moved the roof rack over. We've got the mounts out as far as they can, which may be problematic when we get to corrugations or rough road. We'll see about that, whether it survives the trip. But the other purpose of having that there is, if we go inside, we've got our hot water service. Magnet. Got our hot water service. That's mounted in there. I made a little tray up bench with some AstroTurf. That's all bolted down. All my tools and spanners are under it. That's bolted on top. And then we can just unzip that, drop it down. It comes out to about here. So we can shower, put our towel and stuff on top of that, close. I'll put a towel over the window there to stop people looking in. And then you've only got this little space here that you can walk in and out. It's a bit of a windbreak. Again, it's somewhere to put your clothes and that while you're showering. And then when you're done, you can roll the hoses back up and tuck in there behind the seat. Whether I get a bucket or something to put down there to suck out of, that's the Coleman Champion lithium instant hot water, which I've been using for a couple of years. A lot better than the previous model for a lot of reasons. we might have a little closer look at that while we're on the track as well. But quickly while we're in here, just shelter stuff. Got me Alton Goods freebie free tarp in there, which is replacing the awning on the roof. You wouldn't notice there's no awning. More tarp stuff, ropes, air compressor, which is going to get put away because I'm not going to be pumping tyres up and down all the time. There's a time for it, and it's not on dirt. It's that's for sandy stuff. But again, we'll talk about that on the trip. And then just random odds and ends in there, some chargers and a poncho, rope, and some fly netting I've made up to have the windows open in case we do sleep in the back, because while that's going to be good up in the tropics, up in the north where it's warm, anyone's been watching the news lately, like Cairns had 300 mil of rain. They've had a lot of rain in the Daintree in the tropics, so we might not be camping there. We might have to bypass that whole area because those tracks might be closed, especially the Creb. But if it's too wet, too windy, there's going to be a number of reasons why we're not going to be sleeping in that tent. Rightio, quick look in the back. Water jug here for the shower, 30 litres. I couldn't find anything that had a big enough spout on it to take the pump for the hot water system. So at least being a wide mouth drum like that, if I get to a creek or whatever, I can just dunk it. You're not sitting there for 5 minutes while it's going blump, 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 filling up. Quick fill, throw it in the back, and good to go. Our ladder for the rooftop tent, our King's 360 watt solar panel, which we'll be using up there, and the chair. That air compressor will probably come back into here as well, or we might put a couple of slabs of alcohol in there to fill in the gaps a little bit. But yeah, so that's a suction there. It's just a weird shape and will not fill in the neck. We've got a fly screen for across the back so we can have our rear door open to get some airflow if we are camping in the back, but the mattress is going to go back in. 6 litres of water there, spare bed sheet in that dry bag. Then we've got another 20 litres of drinking water there, and just our table tucked in behind there is a second table. We probably won't be using that. I might be mounting the ironing board to the top of the tent. We'll see what happens with that, but I don't think I showed you. I made myself a set of curtains in it about 6 months ago, and I think I've only slept in it once, but I've had to open that door there to let the sun in because it's pretty dark in there. But mainly the first 2 nights getting from Victoria to Queensland, pulling over on the side of the road, not dealing with the rooftop tent, just climb in the bed and get a sleep, wake up, go. Next servo, coffee and bacon egg roll or something. But we just got torch and some other odds and ends under there, and yeah, that's basically it for inside. Tools up there, especially after doing the timing belt and that, sort of finding out what tools are needed, taking the bull bar and that off as well. Well, yes, you can take a full socket set, and I suppose having a full socket set, full spanner set, all that sort of stuff, full screwdriver set, not just peace of mind for yourself, you know you're going to have the gear to, all the tools to help yourself out, but if you do come across someone else that has a different vehicle and has different size nuts and bolts and that sort of thing, you can help them out as well. Whereas if I've just got stuff for this car, you're limited what you can do with someone else, but they should have stuff for their own car as well. So quickly around here, power box hard mounted under there, the iTech World 1300, full review on that. Not much has changed sentiment wise on that. We've got a 1.5 metre extension cord plugged in that's going around to our kitchen, tent pegs and stuff. I brought that Thermacell last Christmas and haven't used it yet, and we've got a fair bit of storage in there that again, food and alcohol will probably fill that spot. Shh, don't tell anyone. And then if we go into the kitchen, looks like we're already half packed to go. Basically our kitchen items, Pretty sure I've shown you this before, but we've got our molly, or homemade molly backing on here with all our molly pouches, all our stuff in there, spices, knockoff jet boil, what have we got here? I can't remember. Pathfinder water jug, which you can boil water in if you get into trouble. There's a litre in there, just backup water as well, and it's got the little stove at the bottom. Blowing cold air. Victorian winter, I'm here in shorts and a t-shirt, but I think it's about 8 degrees. My coolant fridge is going to do what we're going to do. 70 litre, we've got the 15 or 20 litre freezer section on the side, which will be taking most of the food. The cold section is mostly just going to be liquid refreshments. Underneath, some butane gas storage, pots and pans. I need one saucepan. I've got a frying pan because I'm going to cook a steak when we get up to the top, just as celebratory steak when we get to the top. Cooking oil, herbs and spices, gravies, coffee, tea, coffee, sugar, that sort of thing, and our coffee mug. That's where our 240 comes around the back, because we're going to be using the air fryer a fair bit on this trip, just for ease of purpose. When it's averaging 34 to 36 degrees each day up the top, you don't want to be having soup, stews, all that sort of thing. So air fried chips, air fried fish, and air fried chicken, that we can sort of cook it, then let it cool down a little bit, and it's not going to affect it too much. With some salad as well. So all our stuff's tucked under there. I don't know if I'm going to leave the resealable bags in here, but they don't take up any space. But we've done that because of our just general space issue. We've ditched the camp kitchen bag, and I've just gone for a little toiletry bag like this that has got I can open it. Just your knife, fork, spoon, tongs, piezo lighter, spatula, basic stuff. We've got salt and pepper in one side, and I don't think there's anything in that. Oh, just a cigarette lighter and a flint, steel, in case I need to make a fire. I'm not taking firewood or anything. Again, 36 degrees. There's no need. Oh, there is a need for a fire up there to mitigate mosquitoes, but we're not going to worry about that. We've got some long sleeve stuff to worry about all that stuff, hopefully. Alright, so if you go back probably 2 years in the equipment check playlist, you'll see a trip prep video back when I was still planning to do the Cape. This is 5 years in the making that I've been trying to get up there, and it's the closest I've got to actually getting there, so hopefully this year's the charm. But basically the same principle. I'm only going to fly through it here. If you want a more detailed thing, go back and have a look at that video. But basically, just on Google Maps, start at your place of residence, sort of broad. So here we are, Albury-Wodonga, so broadly to the border. I know going up for a Hebel's the direct way, so here to Hebel, total distance, and then start filling in. It doesn't have to be every town in between here and that destination. It's mainly just an hour apart or whatever, so you can break the drive up, fuel stops, that sort of thing. So day one, now this hasn't been edited yet, this has been revised 6 times already. We were going to go from here to St George in one day, which, as you can see there, 1,164 k's, 15 hours. We're not going to do that in one day. I'm going to try and get away Friday after work and knock 3 or 4 hours off that trip already, but we'll quickly go down here. The route we're going, up through the guts to St George. We're going to actually stay just past St George at Surat. There's a campsite there on the river. That's a gold coin donation, I think, so we're going to go camp there. Again, just get there, cook something, or have something for tea and climb in the back of the car and go to sleep. So it should be day 3, not day 2. But yeah, from there up, we're not quite going to get to Townsville, because again, it's another very big day. But Townsville, up through Cairns to Wonga Beach. We're going to stay there. We've got a site booked at Daintree Resort Caravan Park. It's on the ocean there, so again, just having access to toilets and showers when you're in a busy area. Then we're going to try and do Daintree, the Creb, up to Old Laura. Backup plan, if the Creb is closed, we're going to go around Bloomfield Track, Cape Tribulation. With how much rain's happening up there at the moment, we might not be able to do any of that, so plan C is back down to past Mossman, then back on to the Mulligan Highway and around, and the long way. But then up the PDR. This was edited before I changed the plan and fixed the snorkel, so we were going to go straight up the PDR to Brimwell Junction or Bamaga Road, go and have a look at Palmer Creek. It looks pretty gnarly. It has been looking gnarly for the last 2 years. Go and have a go at Palmer Creek. If I can get through that successfully, then I'll keep on doing the old teletrack. If not, we're back out to Bramwell, around Bamaga Road, and then back into Sailors Creek at the top of the south section and camp there tonight. Day 2, up to the Jardine, cross it, Bamaga, the tip, go up there, get the photo off the sign, at least try and get the photo of the sign, even though it's going to be a Thursday at the end of the school holidays. We'll see how that goes. But then, I'll talk about that at the end. And then come back down to Somerset Beach, camp there or somewhere between the tip and Somerset, because on that Friday morning, I wanted to go back to the tip. I want to be there 5-ish before sunrise, because I want to get a photo, sunrise, drone, hopefully by myself there. We'll see what happens with that. But once we're done there, we're going to come back across the ferry and probably come back to Fruitbat Falls. We might come down and go to Elliot Falls or something, depending on how busy everything is. Stay there tonight, and then we're expressing back down the PDR to Musgrave, then Lakeland and Battle Camp, across to Kennedy's Creek, or Kennedy's Camp at Lakefield, back down to Cooktown, Archer Point. We'll stay at Archer Point, then go back down Cape Tribulation if we don't go up that way. If we don't do the Creb, we'll come back down the Creb. It's just, that's there in case whatever we do. And it's 100k, so not every day is a full day of driving. There are a lot of small, slower days, but we've got a site booked at Noah's Beach. We'll camp there, right in the middle of the Daintree, in the rainforest. And then Cow Bay, back to Wonga Beach, back down Port Douglas, back down to Townsville. Now I've got an army mate that I hope to be able to spend the 2 nights there, which was going to save me $300 from staying at the local caravan park, but we got a full day in Townsville, 2 nights, to just explore some old haunts and some old things I want to have a look around there. I don't know if I'll film that stuff, but yeah. And then once we're done there, it's going to be the express train home. We're down to Camilla Beach. It's the last point down the Queensland coast where the Bruce Highway is near the ocean. Once you get past Camilla Beach, it sort of comes inland again as you get down towards Rockhampton, it's inland until you get back to the south coast or there somewhere, but we're not going that far, because once we get down to Rockhampton, we'll be going inland, Banana, Fairdoor, Miles, Goondiwindi, to Moree, and as you see, 992k, so that's going to be a massive day. So Moree, we've got in a hotel booked for the night. For that, and mainly just, I don't really pull in the late afternoon trying to find somewhere to camp, having to worry about the locals, that sort of thing. And then also to, in the morning, make a coffee, because we've got another 924k trip, 10 hours, 10 hour and 11 hour days there to get home on the sad day. We've got 1 day spare, and then it's back to work, back to the truck on Monday. So that's big. But again, using Google Maps for the most part to find the distances between each town, work out your kilometres. You can be as anal retentive on this as you want. I've just done this because once you've got your Ks, you've got your times, and then have a rough idea of how much fuel you're using, so you can sort of judge, right, start guessing where, or estimating where you're going to need fuel stops. Fuel apps like Petrol Spy, Fuel Watch, that sort of thing. I've been updating every couple of weeks just to monitor what fuel prices are doing, where's the cheapest fuel, what service station that actually is. And even though I've got the long range tank, which is 112 litres, you'll see here like 75 litres, 74. That's probably the biggest run I'm going to be doing. So I've still got a third of the tank left. But I'm just getting fuel where those fuel prices are cheaper. Like Townsville's cheaper than the rest of the way up the coast, until you get to Cairns and it starts going up again. And then where you get into places where it is dearer, you're only putting 20 litres, 50 litres, 50 litres, 60 litres, which is a big one at Cowan, because 239 is a lot cheaper than 282 at Archer River, or Bramwell Junction. So, and that's going to save, over the course of 7,000 k's, that's going to save a lot of money. So it's something that's easier to do. It takes a little bit of time just to do the spreadsheet, but once you've done it, if anyone's interested, I can copy, even though the figures aren't going to match, so I don't know how that's going to work anyway. But for the most part, the fuel prices have stayed the same over the last 2 months. I'm going to update it one more time next week as the school holidays start in Victoria, and they're about to start in Queensland, and it's just dropped about 5 degrees. I think I'm going to get wet. Yeah, just to see if the school holidays affect those prices. But Bamaga, Bramwell, Archer River, all those servos along the PDR have pretty much stayed the same price for the last 2 or 3 months since I put the thing in. If it has been any change, it's been 1 or 2 cents either way. Nothing stupid. So that's that. And then I've got this average about 12 litres to the 100. We'll know when we get to Gilgandra, our first fuel stop, how much the rooftop tent affects that, because I tried to find just a roof platform so I didn't have to cut up the roof rack, but in the time permitted, and I thought it's not going to happen until the day before I go or something, where one's going to pop on the marketplace. So we took a 9-inch grinder to that roof rack. Iron Man, I think they say it's a 31 or 37 kilo roof rack on the website. We probably got that down to 20. We cut a lot of stuff out, because once I knew that spare tyre was going under the back, I knew the only reason we need this roof rack is for mounting the tent to. So crossbars, it had 2 heavy duty bars going across it to, sorry, we'll finish this while we're recording it. So yeah, 12 litres to 100, estimated 16 litres to 100 off-road. Bit of a breakdown there. I haven't updated that date, but 22nd of the 7th was the last time this has been checked. And then you can work out how much money you need for fuel. So that did stop. No, don't worry about it. It's already stopped. So back to the roof. Save the photos. I was going to push something to the end of it. I don't know now. Don't know, but that wind's getting cold. I need to put some pants on. So yeah, we've lightened that roof rack up a heap. So that I've taken it to work once and got fuel already this week to prep before we leave. No wind noise, no rustling, nothing coming underneath the rooftop tent, unlike the Prado used to have. So yeah, we've cut the sides off, we've cut it right down. I would have loved to have or get a proper platform put on it, something nice and light, something aluminium that's just there to hold it on the roof, but we've just run out of time. Yeah, that's moving away. We might not be in so much trouble after all. So that's it. Again, be as anal retentive as you want with your planning, and it might be a little bit over the top, but it's just handy having an idea of where you're going to be looking at getting fuel. I've got all that list of fuel prices there for other places, so if you do roll through, if I roll through Dubbo before I get to the Gilgandra fuel stop and see, oh wow, diesel's only $1.40 there, where on my thing it's $1.70. Well, I'll just stop there and get fuel. It's a benefit of only sort of filling up that half a tank each time. If you do get fuel 100 k's before the next planned fuel stop, then you're still going to get to the one beyond that. Yeah, it's just handy. It limits the surprises you're going to have while on the trip. But I suppose one last thing too while we're going here, I do want to get some sort of material and put across, whether it's a bit of foam and zip tight to the hinges up there, just so you haven't got wind pushing rain into that seal. It's new, it's probably going to seal up good, but after a little while, I don't want water penetrating that seal and getting into the rooftop tent. But I think that's going to do us. We're 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Everything I need to do to it has been done, with the exception of we've got a filter sock coming for the snorkel that should be here this week. Looking at tracking, I've got a set of diff breather kit coming that's not going to be here until next weekend. So this weekend, even though most of the stuff's there, I've got some grog to pack. The mattress has got to go back in it, and a sheet, and maybe a sleeping bag, just in case things are a little bit cool between here and Queensland. Bedding's already in the rooftop tent, ready to go. I'll probably go down the block and just drop the oil out of it and put some fresh oil in it before we go, because it is going to be due for a service about 1,000 k's before we get home, so it's going to be overdue for a service by the time we get back. For $40-50 for the oil, I'm just going to go and get it and drop it out, put some fresh oil in it, and worry about a filter and doing a proper service when we get home, because we'll end up probably dropping the diff oils and all that sort of stuff after creek crossings, and just put all new stuff in it, give it a birthday when we get back, if it behaves and treats us right. So yeah, diff breathers next week, and that'll make her able to go for a swim. And yeah, next week, well, this week, get everything packed. Next week, get the fridge packed. Whatever doesn't need to be refrigerated at the moment, i.e. liquid beverages. No, that's pretty much it. We'll go in the fridge now, just so we get a bit of an idea of spacing. And then once we get to next weekend, the fridge is going to get turned on. All the frozen stuff's going to go in there. Again, we've got a week to work out our spacing, what's going to fit, what's not going to fit. And yeah, and go from there. So while there's going to be some spag bowl pre-mixed stuff like that in the freezer, as I said before, because of the heat, it's mostly going to be wraps, ham and salad wraps for lunch, which you've seen on the Cameron Corner trek before. That's going to be lunch. Tea, if it is going to be too hot. I've got some nice Igum chicken tenders we can cook up in the air fryer with some cider chips and have a chicken wrap with that. I've got some chicken steaks I can do in the air fryer or do in a frying pan if need be. Slice that, put in there, or just have it on a plate with some chips and wedges. And we're going to do steak and wedges when we get to the tip as I'm not doing that again, as a celebration of getting there. But there's nothing else to show you. We're going to get going. So it won't be when you see this, because you'll be seeing this before I go, but the next video you see will be me venturing north. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to release the videos with this, because one of the biggest issues I've had, and I've mentioned it before, in doing research for this trip is, yeah, people post, I'm going to get wet, people post doing the teletrack, doing Bloomfield track or whatever. It's very hard to find something from this year. Just, I don't know if people haven't been going up there from YouTube, filming and put it on YouTube this year. A lot of stuff posted this year, but it's from last year, so it's taken them a year to post stuff up. There's not much information along the way. It's sort of just here's some obstacles, and then we're at the destination. Again, trying to meet that YouTube algorithm of making a 20-minute video. So while I might do one video at the end of the entire trip, you might just get sections. The PDR, the old Teletrack, Creb, just as one separate video. And then at the end, there might be some stuff in between those sections that I'll just include as one big video. But this is the struggle I've got. We're here in winter, 2 weeks to go. I want to get out in that tent and camp and make sure it's comfortable. I've got my Alton Goods inflatable mat up there just as a bit of comfort. Coming home from the pub last night, and there was a Thermacell inflatable mattress laying on the side of the road, so I picked that up. We're going to give that a clean off. We've got that as well, just as a bit of extra comfort. But I want to be able to get up in and out of there in the morning when you're busting for the little boys' room, test that out, test a couple other things out, have the air fryer running off half a battery on the power pack. But as I said, it's probably about 5 degrees now. I can feel it in my knees, but it's only getting the 13 today, so this shit's going to go on all day. Back down to -1 overnight, which is too cold for sleeping in a rooftop tent. I don't care who says otherwise. Next week looks a bit the same, so I'm going to be going from this shit into summer, straight into summer. It's that hard. That's why I wasn't going to pack a sleeping bag. That's why I had to go into Kmart yesterday and buy some extra long sleeve shirts and pants, just because Lily like me here in Victorian winter, one day in Cooktown and I'll be looking like something red. I'll be a cooked prawn. But anyway, I'm going to get out of this. That tyre's not going on now. It's going to go on later. The joys of living in Victoria, I swear. Alright, that's it guys. Thanks for watching. As I said, next video will be the trip begins. So I hope you look forward to that. I look forward to going. There's still a bit of anxiety, but we'll get over it once we get on the road, I reckon. Is it a sign? Is it a sign? Don't go, don't go. And then it stops. We're going. See you guys.